Raw flesh. When I was a child, 8 years old, I woke up one night with a burning pain on my leg. I scratched frantically, and there it was, a cockroach, stuck to my skin, chewing a small strip of flesh. No one believed me, but I did my research, and it's real. Extremely rare, but there are testimonies there. Are cockroaches that feed on human flesh. But this is not my story. This is the story of Eric, a lonely, brilliant young man completely detached from the world around him. Since childhood, he had suffered from personality disorders, social difficulties, and a sickening obsession with insects, especially cockroaches. At 27, he lived alone in an old house inherited from his grandmother in the suburbs of Adelaide, Australia. At the end of a long hallway and a windowless sealed room, he built his sanctuary, a cockroach farm. Millions of them. He fed them with rotting meat he acquired through black markets and shady veterinary clinics. In his madness, he considered them his family. Despite his darkness, Eric was a genius. He worked as a microbiologist in an experimental laboratory. That's where he met Clara, a young lab assistant. Outgoing, sweet, and oddly fascinated by the strange. She was drawn to Eric's uniqueness, and for the first time in his life, Eric felt loved seen. They fell in love. Went to the beach together, camped at Uluru, made love for the first time. Eric felt like his world was finally expanding beyond the constant hum of insect legs. But he made a mistake. Caught in the ecstasy of their trip, he forgot to feed his cockroaches. 7 days without food. Millions of microscopic mouths waiting for flesh. When they returned, he was urgently called back to the lab. An accident with a dangerous sample. He had no choice. He left. Clara at his home and asked her one thing. "Promise me you won't open the door at the end of the hallway ever." "All right, I promise," she replied with a smile. Curiosity doesn't always kill the cat. Sometimes it unleashes a plague. The door creaked open. The stench came first. Then the sound, a wave of rustling bodies. Millions of cockroaches stirred by the scent of fresh meat. Within seconds, the walls seemed to vibrate. The creatures surged forward like a living wave, thousands, millions covering her, crawling into her mouth, her eyes, every orifice in her body. When Eric came back, the door was open. He screamed. He ran. He found her body, unrecognizable, reduced to bones, hair, and bloody scraps of clothing. In shock, he grabbed a can of insecticide, but the hiss summoned the colony. They no longer recognized him. He was no longer their master. He was meat. The cockroaches devoured him without mercy. He screamed for minutes until his throat, too, was eaten alive. Days later, authorities found the bodies, or what was left of them. They never figured out exactly what killed them, but the room was empty. Empty of bodies, full of shells, and with the door wide open. To this day, no one knows where the cockroaches went. We only know they once tasted human flesh, and they'll be hungry again.